Mr. Bill O'Reilly.
Yes, I'm here. I'm attentive.
So let's get your take on first what happened in the impeachment hearings this week with the very non-biased, open thinkers.
Number one, I was watching reruns of Mayberry RFD on the Me channel.
Right.
Okay.
Really?
So I missed a lot of the live stuff.
Right.
Because Goober is really, he's more in tune to my way of thinking.
Yeah, I like just plain old Mayberry, the RFD days,
You know,
it's kind of when they were stretching, but I get it. I get it.
You're right. So why would anybody, any human being in this country, pay attention to this week? Why? So you parade in three people that hate Trump. Oh, they loathe him. And they sit there and they just dish bad stuff on him. And then they have one guy who kind of doesn't like him, but is actually a thinker and says, you really don't have enough to impeach him or anyone else. So why are we here? And why do I want to watch this? For what? I don't know. I don't learn anything. Do I want to watch corruption in the government on display? I'm pretty much convinced that happens every day now. Don't really need to see it again. So, the cable TV ratings have been pretty good this week. There are people who are interested in this. I don't know why. Maybe you can tell me. I don't know why.
No, I have no idea why.
Yeah, because it's not going to lead anywhere. I mean, he's going to get acquitted in the Senate. And by February, this is just a bad memory.
So what does this do to our republic?
Well, it's bad for the country in a variety of ways because it just polarizes people even more. It was interesting because in the interview I did with President Trump on the radio, did you hear that, Beck?
No, I didn't.
But you heard about it, I'm sure.
Are you kidding me? That's all we could talk about.
So in the interview I did with him, it was quite clear that he, as president, believes he's doing a good job, and he believes that this whole impeachment is going to help him get reelected. That's the Trump view, that I'm going to get reelected, and this impeachment thing's helping me because people see it as crazy land. However, the other side hates him so much that they don't even consider there might be a backlash. Because they live in a bubble. All right, the Trump haters pretty much associate with the Trump haters. It's like
that's it, yeah.
Yeah, I mean they don't go out of that. And then if you don't hate Trump, they don't want to have anything to do with you. They don't want to talk to you. They don't want to give you a ride to the bus station. They don't want any part of you. So it's an what we're becoming is an isolated tribal country, which we have never really been before except for the Civil War. So we're becoming tribes of people who have special interests, political interests, fanaticism here and there. And the media drives that. So the tribe watches MSNBC. The tribe watches Fox News Channel, right? Mm-hmm. And there's no non-tribe people watching. They're all of the same mindset. So instead of e pluribus unum, okay, Stu, tell me what that means.
From many one?
That's right. Mm-hmm. It's now, I don't know the Latin word for tribe, but I'll just say tribum. That's what we are.
Tribalis.
Tribalis.
Yeah. And interestingly enough, I'm sure you heard that my new killing book is Killing Crazy Horse, the merciless Indian wars in America.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, Crazy Horse is one of my... You got to send this to me. Crazy Horse is one of my favorite characters in American history.
Well, you're going to love this book. But anyway, I don't want to plug the book now. There'll be plenty of time for plugging the book. But
maybe not. Not on this show. Maybe not. Well, maybe I don't like it.
Then you're not getting a free book. Then, in the Native American culture, it was all tribes. All right? So we're going back to the Native American culture. And the tribes didn't have anything in common with the other. So the Apaches in Arizona didn't have anything in common with the Sioux
yes.
up in North Dakota and Montana. Okay, so This is what we're becoming. And people don't understand it because they don't get any intellectual analysis in the media at all. All they get is rooting. I'm rooting for Trump to be destroyed, or I'm rooting for Trump to be president forever. Okay? They don't get this is what is happening in America. We're dividing ourselves into tribes that hate each other. And that's like what happens in the Balkans. That's like Kosovo and Montenegro. And,
except there's no borders here on this one. We're all mixed in with each other.
Yes, but we're becoming isolated from each other.
Yeah, even though we live next door to each other or we work in the next cubicle for one another.
That's right.
We don't associate.
We don't talk to Emily because Emily likes Trump.
Correct.
And so this is the destructive nature of what is happening politically in America. And nobody, now they know on the Glenn Beck program what it is, but I'll tell you, I'll submit to you that what I just told you, very few people are aware of.
Bill, tell me the mindset, if you can, of Nancy Pelosi and those in the Democratic Party. How do they think this is going to end, and how do you think it's going to end?
Okay. Nancy Pelosi, if you watch her body language, which is really fascinating, and the way she conducts herself when James Rosen asked a very legitimate question yesterday.
Oh, my gosh, it was incredible.
Yeah. Do you hate Donald Trump? And she went off the wall. Now, that's a legitimate question, and nobody should have gone off the wall if you ask it. You say, no, I don't. I just believe that he has abused his power and shouldn't be there. That's all.
Right.
You don't go, how dare you?
Yeah,
Really.
I mean, when she said, don't you ever use that kind of language with me, I mean, that was shocking.
Right. And now, there are two things. Nancy Pelosi's not used to being asked anything that goes against her prevailing wisdom because the press is in a tank. So she was caught by surprise by that question. And the second thing is that Nancy Pelosi is a fanatic.
Okay, hang on. We're going to let that sit and simmer for a while, and then we'll come back with more of Mr. Bill O'Reilly from BillO'Reilly.com in just a minute. Here's Nancy Pelosi on Donald Trump, and then Jake Tapper. Listen. We don't have it? Cut one. Okay. Don't have the audio. Do you have the audio of the snapping on Jake Tapper? Okay, go ahead, please.
Would also have to testify. If there's some sort of deal cut, would you be willing to do so?
It has nothing to do. They should be testifying because they have been asked to testify by Congress. It isn't a deal. It's about a system of checks and balances. Can we not have any more questions about impeachment?
Can we not have any more questions about impeachment, Bill O'Reilly? It was the day that she said we're putting impeachment articles together. Can we not have any more questions about impeachment? Bill, are you there still?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, okay, I can. Well, what are your thoughts there?
Yeah, do you get a sense of entitlement from Mrs. Pelosi?
Oh,
do you
yeah.
get a sense that maybe that she's not really a regular person? If you look at her background, very wealthy, father in politics, Maryland raised, and whips out to the most liberal district in the country, runs around. She doesn't want to be asked any difficult questions. She just wants to spout propaganda. I said before the break that she is a fanatic. A fanatic is a person who is incapable of evaluating an opposing point of view, not agreeing, but even evaluating. See, well, how does the Republican Party think? Or why do they want certain things? Forget it. Forget it. She's a far left person. She has a vision, and that's it. And if you don't have the vision, she's going to try to hurt you.
Well, she was incredible. They asked her about, do you hate Donald Trump? And she went off and said, how dare you? Don't you ever question me like that again.
Right.
And I thought,
dare.
Yeah, I thought to myself, gee, wouldn't it be nice if I could have said that after the 10,000th question about how much I hate people? I mean,
you know what?
It's insane.
My follow-up, to if I had been there, my follow-up would have been after she said that. If I had been Rosen, I would have said, you sound a lot like Vladimir Putin.
Yeah.
Oh, wouldn't that have been interesting?
Yeah, it would have been.
But she does.
Okay.
And she doesn't want opposing points of view.
So let me take you one more place on the impeachment.
Yes.
Yesterday, I was with an audience of about 40, 50 people here in the studios, and I asked them, what do you think? Are we at least going to get a fair trial in the Senate and actually find out if Donald Trump is guilty or innocent in a fair way in the Senate? Not a single hand went up. Not one. When I I expected, are we actually going to find out what happened, with this whole impeachment trial and who's involved and all of that? I expected there to be few hands, but when I asked, are we actually going to find out what's true? No one raised their hands on the simple thing of what was the phone call and the actual charges of the articles of impeachment. Are there any bases to that? They didn't even think that they would get a fair trial in the Senate. What do you think's going to happen?
And they're smart because the Republican senators want to embarrass the Democratic Party, so they're not looking for the truth. And from my perspective, and I've studied this pretty hard, Donald Trump was indiscreet in how he approached Ukraine, but is that a shock to anybody?
Nope.
Okay. That's what he is. That's what he does. He's a stream of consciousness speaker. He reacts emotionally. He felt that there was corruption in the Ukraine on a number of different fronts, including Joe Biden, and he asked the president to investigate it. That's it. Okay. Now, the Republican Party, they've said that time and time again. What they want to do is bring in Hunter Biden and Joe Biden and Schiff and embarrass the hell out of them.
Yeah, but I think I honestly think we have spent 4 years now on impeachment. We have spent millions of dollars on investigation, and we found out that Donald Trump really didn't do anything in collusion with Russia. We found out something we already know, that Russia is trying to infiltrate our country and disturb our elections. They don't care who the winner is, quite honestly.
That's right.
They just are trying to pit us against each other. But they haven't spent any time on looking really into that. Then, as soon as he makes this phone call, they rush to impeachment. Somebody has to be held responsible for the what I think is an abuse of the American pocketbook, if not abuse of power.
Well, that's never going to happen. I mean, it's just not going to happen. Everybody is looking for an avenue to victory next November. And, it's not just the president.
It hurts us.
The Republicans got to take back the House.
Yeah.
I mean, if they can control the House and the Senate and Trump wins.
But isn't the best way to do that to show that through a fair process, to show that that Adam Schiff was cooking the books and the whistleblower
will never acknowledge that. We'll never acknowledge it in a million years, no matter what proof comes to the fore. Yeah. Monday's a big day with the Horowitz report.
I was just going to ask you about that. It comes out.
Already the Washington Post taking the lead. It's nothing. No big deal. No. They don't have anything. So that's what you're going to get. So no matter what they did in the Senate, the press would spin it like, come on, it's no big deal. But look.
So wait. What is going to happen with the Horowitz report? Do you have any inkling on what we're going to find?
Somebody in the Justice Department. But I hate to use anonymous sources, that. Mm-hmm. So I can't tell your audience that this is true, but this is what the person said to me. Out of 10 being the most helpful to the Trump administration.
And zero
This
being
report,
and zero being just neutral or helpful
no,
to
zero being hurtful.
Okay.
10 helpful, 0 hurtful. This is an 8. It's an 8 out of 10 that it will help Trump. Now, that's what the guy said to me. And I don't know if it's true. I had no idea if he's spinning. He's obviously in the administration, so take that for what it's worth.
What would those things be that are in that report?
If Horowitz, who is not Elliot Ness, all right, he's not a crusader for justice, even though he's the Inspector General of the Justice Department. He is a bureaucrat, CYA, village people guy. Okay. If he says, I'm referring to Durham, who is the criminal investigator, these names that he might want to consider indicting, home run for Trump, impeachment goes off the rails, the American people are in an uproar, cable news ratings go through the roof. If that is the case, if he's mealy-mouthed and says, well, one guy really abused his power, but the others really didn't, and I don't know, I can't really tell, then it's a nothing.
It's a nothing.
Right. So that'll be out on Monday, and we'll have plenty to talk about next week on it. But the overarch here is this. Nothing really matters except the election next November, because the American people have a stark decision to make. Stark. Do you want an imperfect man, Donald Trump, and imperfect is a charitable word. If you read the United States of Trump, I lay the man out for you, okay? You want an imperfect man who's actually helping the country. His policies are helping the country, and they are, okay? Or do you want a progressive left that's going to change every fundamental thing that we have? Everything. What do you want? And that's the vote. And it's not just for president, as I said. It's the House, the Senate, because whoever gets power, if the Republican Party gets power in both houses and the presidency next November, the far-left progressive movement is dead, finished in the history of this country, at least for the foreseeable future. If the opposite happens, we enter into an age of anarchy, where all of our traditions are upended, where everything changes, where the government becomes so powerful that the state and the local officials have nothing to say. Everything will be run out of Washington from a progressive perspective. That is what Nancy Pelosi, Adam Schiff, all of these people want. They want more power to tell you what to do and how to live. On every issue, this is what is at stake.
Why do you say that the progressive era, if you will, or the progressive movement towards that will be gone for the foreseeable future?
Because Trump and McCarthy and Graham will come in with a vengeance, and they will attack every progressive thing or issue and destroy it.
What makes you say that?
Because they're mad, particularly the president. Now, I'm going to tell your audience something that I haven't really made public, but I had dinner with Trump last week in the residence with him.
With Kim?
With him.
Oh, okay. I thought Kim Jong-il, you should have led with that.
He was invited, but he couldn't make it.
Okay. All right. Yeah, all right. Okay.
All right. So, and I thought Trump was going to be a little on edge. He was not. And it was like old times, because I've known him for 30 years and socialized with him many times. But he's angry. And when I don't blame him, because I'm angry at what happened to me and all of this
I'm
PC crap, you know, and I'm sure you're angry. And when Trump, with no restraints, remember, this is a man with no restraints, okay, that gets him in trouble all the time. If he gets control of Congress for those 4 years, you don't want to be a progressive. And he'll go into California. That's where he's going to make his example. That's why I asked him that question about the homelessness in the radio interview. He's going to go into California, and that state is going to be in big trouble as far as federal funding and everything else. So it's an amazing election coming up here. And I don't think people understand the weight of it. So that's why I want them to all go see you in Salt Lake City on tomorrow. Are you going to sing?
Yeah, no, I'm
songs,
only doing Christmas stuff. Yeah, it's lots of singing. Lots of
singing?
Yeah, me and
if
piano.
You've never heard,
yeah.
Beck is like one of the Irish tenors.
Yeah,
I mean, he's so good.
Yeah, well, you could hear that in my voice that I'd be a
And
very
I want
good
to throw in a
tenor.
couple of plugs, if you will.
Yeah.
United States of Trump, great stocking stuffer gift. I'll sign them on BillO'Reilly.com. As you mentioned at the top, we have a great Christmas store, saving people lots of money. And I'm going to be talking with you for the next few weeks, but I want you to have a nice season because all of us in this world, it's upsetting. What's happening in America is upsetting. I don't want us to be a tribal culture.
I will tell you, if this continues down this road, I don't think there's enough Valium on the entire planet to keep people calm. It's crazy what is happening.
Right.
Bill, thank you so much. God
Always
bless.
a pleasure.
You bet.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.